Andy Cook of the HMICFRS has taken Greater Manchester Police out of special measures enhanced level of monitoring known as the engage level and put them back into routine monitoring known as the scan phase. The HMICFRS say that Greater Manchester Police has made several improvements since being placed in special measures, including responding appropriately to the public and vulnerable people, including answering calls more quickly, better understanding its performance and the capability and capacity of its workforce and providing better support for officers and staff, halving the number of open investigations, giving officers more time to focus on bringing offenders to justice, and more accurately recording crime. The HMICFRS inspected Greater Manchester Police in September 2021, and at the time they said they had identified just 3 areas of concern, which were responding to the public, investigating crime, and building, protecting and supporting the workforce. At the time, the inspection found that Greater Manchester Police is failing to respond appropriately to some people who are vulnerable and at risk. This means that it is missing some opportunities to safeguard victims and secure evidence at the scene. This enduring service failure has given cause for concern about public safety in Greater Manchester. It also found that the force does not investigate crimes, supervise investigations or update victims to an acceptable standard, and that Greater Manchester Police doesn't currently have the arrangements in place to support and build its workforce. Many recommendations were made by the inspectorate, and 1 year on, HMICFRS reviewed Greater Manchester Police's progress. They said they are pleased with Greater Manchester Police's response to the accelerated cause of concern. It declared a critical incident and developed a tactical plan to increase capability and capacity for responding to calls for service. Since the inspection and the recommendations were given, we have been monitoring the force's performance and found that the force has significantly reduced the backlog of incidents awaiting a response, from the 2,700 we found in September 2021 to approximately 600 to 800 at any given time. This improvement has been sustained since February. The force has significantly reduced the time it takes to answer both emergency and 101 calls from the public. During our monitoring and revisit, we found that it answered most 999 calls within the national target of 10 seconds, and the average time to answer 999 calls during September 2022 was 7 seconds. The force has also halved the time it takes to answer 101 calls to an average of 1 minute and 4 seconds. They also said that when the 2021 inspection was carried out, the force had significantly high numbers of open investigations, meaning that officers were overwhelmed with investigations. However, they now say that the force has improved the understanding of investigation demand and improved governance and performance in this area. It has directed additional resources at the high number of open investigations and focused on completing them. We found that the number of open investigations has been halved since our 2021 inspection to a more manageable level. However, the force has more work to do to improve the quality of investigations and in turn improve outcomes for victims. As a result, the recommendations on investigation plans and supervision remain in place and will be further reviewed as part of our PIL programme. The HMICFRS say that in conclusion they are pleased that Greater Manchester Police is continuing to make good progress since their inspection. Although I personally wonder how the public feel, seeing as the inspectorate are only getting to hear from the force and not the people that it's serving. They say that they are further reassured by the plans that Greater Manchester Police have put in place to continue this journey of improvement. In the light of this recent evidence, they say, and while acknowledging that there is still more to do in some areas, the HMICFRS decided that Greater Manchester Police will be removed from the engage phase of force monitoring, which provides forces tackling enduring problems with additional accountability and support, and will revert to the standard monitoring process and be inspected as part of our PIL continual assessment programme during 2023. This standard monitoring process is basically what every single police force is on at all times, allegedly, and they only go into the engage phase when they can't hide their fuck-ups anymore. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Thought you'd be interested to know that Greater Manchester Police have been taken from special measures. But as I say, I wonder whether the public are actually feeling the benefit of these so-called improvements, rather than simply having to take the word of a police force and an organisation run by police.